Hello and welcome to another video by me, Vig7. I'm your host, Vig, and today I'm going to talk about programming. And so what's programming? And programming is basically code. You may have heard of these terms before. Programming and code are just ways of us being able to communicate to a computer what we want it to do. And a lot of really cool services that you can see online today, including websites and apps and games, are all made by code, because of code. So code is really important to learn if you want to be able to design something on your own, make it just like how you want it on a computer and on the web. So coding and programming, there are a lot of different ways to do it. Just like there are a lot of different languages that you can use to express yourself to other people, like Spanish, English, French, Mandarin, etc. There are a lot of computer coding languages as well that you can use to communicate to a computer specific tasks. Now, most languages are individually tasked with certain things, so they're good at certain things. Like, for example, one language known as JavaScript, which you may or may not have heard of, is a web-based language. What does this mean? It means that its specific job. Why would you use that language? You'd use that language to communicate to the web, to make web-based applications, etc., etc. Just like you would use the language Spanish to communicate with people from Spain or Mexico, etc. So today I have for you Python. So Python is another language that's really easy to learn. It's the easiest language that you can learn. It's also a high-level language. What that means is you can do a lot of stuff with it. That includes web-based programming using services such as Django frameworks and Flask, etc. You can also do a lot of data science applications in Python. You can also do a lot of computational operations such as advanced mathematics and long operations that Python programs can run within seconds, etc., etc. So that's what Python is. Now, today I'm thinking I'm going to start a series on coding and programming. And I want to start with the language that I started programming with. That language is Python. And as I just said, Python is really easy to pick up. Very easy, very smooth, nothing hard, no hard syntax, and it's really a flowing language. So this tutorial is the beginning of my series on Python and on programming as a whole. And in this tutorial, we're going to talk about how do you install Python, how good is Python, and what is a code editor. So let's start with how do you install Python. So as you can see, I'm on the Python website here, and the Python website is python.org, and python.org is like the main base website. This is where you get everything that's published by Python itself. Now, mind you, there are so many thousands and thousands of websites on the internet that can tell you, and videos as well, that can tell you everything you need about Python, what is Python, courses, etc., etc. Python.org is the official website of Python. This website only is about Python, all the different versions of Python, the docs, the modules, index, etc., etc. And we will talk about some of these more about these things later on as we move on in the course. So for now, this is python.org, right? In python.org, you're gonna want to download Python. This is where you're gonna download Python. Okay. So as you can see, you can go download. Source code is code that is already been written by people, and we're gonna get into that in like the modules and libraries later on in the course, but this is something that you can begin with. So let's go to the downloads for Python.org. Download Python. So you see the latest version is download Python 3.8.3. As you can see, there are a bunch of other Pythons as well. Now, you may notice that right now I'm pointing at 3.8.3, which is basically a very advanced version of Python 3, which was released in 2008. Now, you can also see Python 2.7 back there. Now, this is going to ring a bell for many of you who may be coming into this course thinking, why aren't you teaching Python 2? Will you be teaching Python 2? And why are you only teaching Python 3? And I'm going to address all those questions right now. Python 2 is a legacy. It is a legacy version of the Python. It is not the future. Python 3 is the future. With that being said, I learned Python 3, and I will teach Python 3. Python 2 is a legacy version which doesn't get updated, and it lacks a lot of different resources that Python 3 has. Now, with that being said, you technically can do some code exchanges between Python 2 and Python 3 if you would like that, and you can learn Python 3 with me. Now, Python 3 is pretty much the same as Python 2, just some minor tweaks. However, you must also remember that Python 3 is not backwards compatible, which means the code running in Python 2 will not run in Python 3 and vice versa, so you should keep that in mind. Anyhow, so for this version, for this reason, because Python 3 is the future of the language, I'm going to teach Python 3. So once you download Python, you can keep it on your computer and all, but then you're going to come across something else, code editors. A lot of times you don't want to write code directly in what's called a console or a terminal. That is where the code executes, which means it runs. You get to see your output of the code in the console/terminal. Now, that is originally like your command prompt on your machine. That is where the code runs. But you don't want to type your code, start writing your code in that. The reason is because there's a reason for that. The reason is because you can't type a lot of code and then execute it in the console itself. The console runs every single individual line, which means that it's going to be really monotonous to keep changing your different code, and it's really bad. You can use editors like Notepad++ or the text edit on Mac or Notepad on Windows, but that's not really recommended because it doesn't have a lot of features. That's why you're going to want a code editor, especially for beginners. It's much easier to use code editors because code editors find your mistakes, help you out, and it's a really great way to learn. So I suggest using a code editor. Now in this course, I'm going to use a lot of code editors, and I know there's a lot of code editors out there, like Sublime and Visual Studio Code and Jupyter Notebooks, Spider, Pycharm. And I started with Spider, but I don't use it anymore. So for the purposes of this course, I will be mostly using Visual Studio Code and Pycharm. So I have Visual Studio Code open here for you. It's a Microsoft program, one of the most popular, if not the most popular, Python code editor out there, and just overall code editor for other languages as well. And so this is Visual Studio Code. You can download it from Mac, download it from Windows or Linux as well. So you can use it anywhere you want to. It's a free download, even though it's such an amazing. So see, as you can see here, you can use Python, GitLab, C++, JavaScript, Java, VB, Visual Basic, and a lot of other languages. Now, some people ask me, why aren't you using Visual Studio? And I don't use Visual Studio because that is for other languages. I'm going to use Visual Studio Code and one more code editor called Pycharm. So let's go to pycharmjetbrains.com. And so this is Pycharm. I'm going to get rid of that and that too. And this is Pycharm. Pycharm is another great editor you can use across many languages, especially for Python. And so yes, I am going to create Pycharm and Visual Studio Code. So you can see there's a download button right here, and then there's a download button right here. So two download buttons, and then download python.org. So, okay guys, that's pretty much it for the day. I'm going to create another intro to programming video just for my other course videos, for my other different languages. As you know, there are many languages, lot of languages out there that you can learn. I personally like to learn. I personally was taught Python first, and well, I'm gonna start with Python, but keep an eye out for that intro to programming video, where it's gonna be a long video. It's gonna be a very long video, but it's gonna be mostly about what all languages I am planning to teach in this coming course of programming. Also keep an eye out for the military and politics, world politics, series that may come up in the near future. And obviously keep looking at this programming, coding, and also the Minecraft video courses that will be coming up, tutorials. So yes, thank you very much for watching this video, and please subscribe and hit the bell button, and please like my video. And the link will be in the description for the Python.org download, the Visual Studio Code, and the Pycharm download. The link will be in the description below, so please check that out. And thank you very much for watching this intro to the Python course. And please look out for the intro to the programming as a whole. I wasn't sure which one I was going to teach first and do first. And so yeah, please look out for the intro to programming video that I have already posted. And thank you very much for your time. I'll see you later. Catch you later, guys.